Hello, this is Tamas Kalman with Avaya Global Services, and today I'm going to talk about how you can retire any SAL Gateway 2.5 and migrate its configuration to a SAL Gateway 3.0. First of all, let's review the improvement highlights of SAL 3.0. With the new policy manager, the SSH host hopping containment and SSH keystroke logging features have been introduced, as well as the ability to terminate existing connections has been added. Third-party software used by the SAL Gateway have been updated to the latest version, including Java Runtime, Tomcat, and the operating system. SAL Gateway now supports 1000 devices, 100 concurrent remote connections, and 100 alarms processed per minute. The ability to import devices from an export taken on a 2.x or 3.0 SAL Gateway has also been added. Let's touch a few disclaimer points. This process is for one-for-one replacement scenarios only, where the hostname, IP address, solution element ID, and alarm ID of the gateway remains unchanged. This process can be useful if the hardware characteristics of the system don't meet the requirements of SAL Gateway 3.0, or if you want to migrate the gateway application to a different server. This migration scenario requires any functioning SAL Gateway 2.5 that has either received a remote agent push for SHA-2 compliance, or Service Pack 2 or Service Pack 3 has been installed. SAL Gateway is configured with Policy Server or Business Partner Concentrator servers don't support this migration path at this time. This process is a high-level demonstration of only the migration workflow and doesn't cover all the possible configuration options and verification steps needed. For comprehensive upgrade and migration guidance, visit support.avaya.com and consult the following document: Upgrading to SAL Gateway 3.0, a playbook for successful upgrade. Now let me present you an overview of the migration process. The first step is to take a backup of SAL Gateway 2.5 using the special migration utility script. We will copy and extract the Avaya Diagnostic Server 3.0 software package on the server, then execute the migration utility script, which will generate the migration backup. After this, the backup file has to be transferred to the future SAL Gateway 3.0 server. Once the file has been transferred, we will install the SAL Gateway 3.0 application on the new server using the backup. We added the ADS response properties file, configure the backup file path parameter to point to the backup file you have transferred from the SAL Gateway 2.5. Finally, we execute the installer in unattended mode. Note: SAL Gateway 3.0 is part of the software package Avaya Diagnostic Server 3.0 or ADS 3.0 for short. Let's start the migration. I have already copied the ADS 3.0 installer on my ADS 2.5 machine that I am migrating from. The ADS 3.0 installer archive is already copied here. You should do the same, although you can choose a different directory if that suits you better. I am also creating a target directory where I will instruct the migration script to save the backup file to. And the next step is to extract the ADS installer archive, which we can do with the tar command. Like this. This will basically extract the contents of this archive into the directory with the same name as the archive. We have a directory here as well now. And when looking into that directory, there are multiple files. The one that we are interested in is the migration backup.sh file. And we will use that to create our backup that will be used for the migration. After specifying the shell script name like this, I also specify the full path of the directory would like this script to generate the backup file, and I execute the backup. It goes through all the components and the whole process will end in a tarball. Everything will be put into one backup file that you will need to transfer to the ADS 3.0. And the backup has completed successfully. If we go and change to the backup directory, you will find the backup tarball there. That concludes the first stage of the migration. After we have completed creation of the migration backup file on the ADS 2.5 server, I have transferred that backup file to the new server where we are going to install ADS 3 and, to be more precise, the SAL 3.0 component. So this file has been copied, and actually it has been copied into this directory. Since the IP addresses of these two servers should be identical, the way I have managed to copy the backup file from the ADS 2.5 server to the new server has been to copy the file to third server, and then after the ADS 2.5 server has been shut down and this new server has been started, has transferred the file from that third server to this new one. If we take a look, you can see that the ADS installer archive has been copied to the new server already. I have also extracted it. One thing that we still have to do after the backup file has been transferred to the new server is to edit the ADS response properties file. I have already prepared this file for the installation. However, I haven't specified the backup file location yet. You can search for backup, all uppercase, within the file, and you will find an attribute called backup file path, and you can specify the path to where your backup file is located. In my case it is root ADS3 backup, and of course the file name. Once this is done, you can save and close the properties file. We will need this properties file because we will be installing ADS3 in unattended mode, and to install in unattended mode you use the install script and you specify unattended as the option. This will basically mean that the properties file will be used to respond to different questions within the installation procedure, so that the installation will happen automatically without any intervention. Let's start the install. And after 10 to 15 minutes of waiting, the installation has completed successfully. To verify that the gateway UI is indeed running and the web interface is ready for access, I am checking if port 7443 is actually available, and we can see that the Java process is listening on port 7443. After this, you can also open up the web interface of the newly installed gateway through HTTPS using port 7443 and confirm that the managed elements that were present on the old gateway and other configuration is also there on the new gateway. This concludes the migration procedure. Thank you for watching. We welcome questions and feedback on mentor@avaya.com and on Twitter @AvayaMentor. For more details and other technical information, please visit support.avaya.com.